Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? How's your fish doing? Everybody's fish doing okay?
I mean,
Well,
16% said no.
Yeah, y'all want to talk about that? If your fish aren't doing great, if you have any questions, need some help, we can certainly attempt to help. But we have a last minute special guest because there was a stream earlier that was talking about different methods of fish keeping. I don't know how you feel about it, Jose. I wish the conversation would have gone differently. I definitely wish there would have been a little bit more respect, and I really wanted to hear a little bit more from you, for sure. So that's why I asked you to join us.
Yeah, my idea, I think, what this stream from was that Patty did a live with Corey of
Right.
Aquarium Co-op, and he said something about the dirted aquarium and no filtration, no water movement, basically no air, no nothing, essentially. Which to me, that's an extreme. And one of the things that I wanted to keep, I told Jorge, listen, this conversation happened. I've had a lot of reaction, nothing negative really, from people who saw that the video that I did. It was all positive, good thing. And I said, Jorge, listen, this seems to be like a hot topic. I think we should explore this a little bit more. And it's not about how often you change the water, whether you should do water changes, because what works for you doesn't work for me. I keep 7 tanks here, 4 that are planted aquarium. Well, the one directly behind me is artificial plants, because what the fish that I have in there, they don't stay. I tried everything, but the other ones
those are artificial, really?
They're all artificial, plastic, and
Okay.
and some cell plants. But anyway, courtesy of my wife, as far as the how we arranged it and the escaping, we changed us. I have to listen to her. She always gives me good ideas. But anyway, and she also got me into doing YouTube, because she was telling me for years. I said, you've been a fish keeper since a child, and really, you have experience. Why don't you share the information? I was reluctant. My 16-year-old did the channel for me, and I had to learn really quickly, the technology and the editing and everything else. But anyway, going back to the topic at hand, was that I told you, Jorge, we should have Mexicali. We should have. He thought it was a great idea. We should have this conversation. So Sean from Discus North NT, he keeps discus. So have I, since I think my first disc was probably 1985 or so, and he has some strong ideas and his feeling of what he calls a swamp tank, and following drinking the Kool-Aid. If you guys are probably too young, I don't know if you remember, if you know the reference to Jim Jones. And the thing is that I believe I'm in the middle. As I say, I listen to opinions on both sides. I'm silent. If I want to contribute something positive or say something positive, I will. If I'm going to say something negative, I leave you with your opinions, and your opinion is your opinion. Whether you change water once a year, if it works for your tank, it will. For me, I do it once a week, all of them, because that works for me. I take every Saturday off. I work 2 jobs, 6 days a week, 12 hours. So Saturday is my day. Sometimes I do some Friday nights and some the other night. But again, that works for me. Doesn't mean it's good for you.
I mean, that's exactly what I do. After the stream, I'm doing my water changes.
And I think it's all relevant to what tanks you have and what's in your tank, because you water change weekly. But when we had plecos breeding in a 29, you could not just get by changing that weekly.
Yeah, that was 150 plecos feeding like several times a day, and it's just that's insanity. That's the other extreme for sure.
Right, that's that. If I have discus babies, I cannot go a week without changing water.
Right.
My tanks on purpose. I like heavily stocked tank. I like the colors. I like the movement, and I'm
Yeah, I was
way
gonna
over.
say
And
your
I would,
tanks look immaculate. They look amazing behind you. I
thank
like
you.
your whole setup going on and the wall decor and
Yeah,
all that too.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, so it's all heavily overstocked. I keep FX6 on all the big ones, and once a week water change. It does well, and that has worked for me. I've never really had a problem with nitrates because of the plants. I know once the tank cycled, I do fine. I've done many times in fish cycling. Again, you follow the proper methods to make sure your ammonia stays clear. And
Right.
I haven't had an issue with that. So what happened with this thing was that when Corey said, uh, when Patty said, I don't have any filters, I don't have any bubbles, I like bubbles in my tank, not because I think it looks pretty, but for what it does. And when he says, Corey says, well, you have a water movement. If you put food and it doesn't move the food around, like we were talking about his floating pellets, it doesn't float, it doesn't move them around. And then I said, wait a minute, you cannot have a tank, I call it natural. When we try to create nature in a box, but nature is there's water movement, even when it doesn't seem like water is moving, like in a lake, in a pond, there is movement. There's some water that seeps down. There's rain that replaces it. There are droughts. The water level drop. But there is not just topping off a tank that the water, it's whatever's there is stagnant. So that's what
Right.
I like to call swamp water. And again, it's the exaggeration. Now, swamps are a very delicate, complex ecosystem. But
Yep.
there is rain. There is when there are floods. When the ground gets saturated, that's going to flow somewhere. It goes into a river, it goes into a, so there is water movement, even where you don't think there is.
Yep. And I mean, I live in the place where it's very much known for swamps. I'm from Louisiana, and that's where we
Yeah.
live.
Mhm.
So I've been fishing in the swamps. I know what's out there, and
Yeah.
I know that there's a cycle, and there's areas that have low dissolved oxygen. There's areas that have high phytoplankton, and then
Right.
there's like really fast moving oxygenated areas, and it all kind of goes around in a cycle, thanks to nature, thanks to rain, water movement,
Yeah.
and fish thrive.
Absolutely. And this is what I was saying. There are people. Somebody mentioned uh, that. Okay, now just because Corey said it, that means it's right. And one of my lines that I use in my field, you heard that I am a nurse for 41 years, emergency room, and always critical care.
Right.
People say, "Oh, he comes to say he's the expert." They've told some patients that I can do certain things. I said, "Oh, I'm not an expert. I just have a lot of gray hair. I've been around for a while, and I've been driving a long time. And the more you drive, the better you become." And the same thing happens as a fish keeper. I'm new to YouTube because I was kind of pushed into it, reluctantly, but I like it.
Mhm.
And I'm new to fish too, but all of us who are fish keepers who are in the hobby, we've been doing it pretty much since we're kids. In my case, probably about 7 or 8 is the best I can remember. Right? I
Oh
used
wow.
to
Yeah.
escape from My mother came in six. I was born in '62, so I'm 1962. I am 62-year-old now. My mother came to the States when I was 6 months. So my grandparents, Jody, hello Jody, Pete.
Jody, thank you
Uh,
for gifting 10 memberships.
um, so I stayed. My grandparents raised me from the time I was about 6 months until I was 11. I could come to the state in 1974. So I used to escape from my grandparents sometimes and go to local streams. And of course, I got my punishment for disappearing. But I used to go collect fish, keep them in jars, and that's kind of where things started. My real tank was at 13 when I came here. My mom gave me one. And so, we all have experiences. We all have different. We all bring a lot to the hobby, and
Mhm.
certainly what Father Fish and he was mentioned by name, and he was on the live stream, and I responded to some of his questions. I mean, not to some of his comments, and also he said himself, but in the Amazon during the flood seasons, discus breed and they lay on the sticks. Again, I say, yes, correct. That is water movement, So there's no stagnant water. This is nature. There are parasites there, there are predators, everything else. But we could try to imitate nature and keep our fish healthy. Hopefully, give them a better life than being chased by predators, right, and being eaten. We can
Yeah,
try to keep them healthy, right?
And I think that's
Right.
kind of the big takeaway is that if you're going to remove these animals from their natural environment, you should be giving them the best life
Right.
that
We
you
have
can.
the ability to override some of the crappier parts of nature because nature
Exactly.
kills things.
Hmm. And that was the thing on Discus North on Sean, is that you could. I say you could try to imitate nature. We can, but you cannot call it that it's a natural tank, because when you keep adding shit, sorry, I think we could say shit on. When
Oh,
you
you
keep
can.
adding,
Oh, that's not a
yeah,
problem.
you can add. George got very upset up there, and I think he used the F bomb. I said, George, you cursed him. I never. He kind of lost it for a little bit there, but anyway, that was fun.
Look.
I was,
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. He had more patience
yeah.
than I would have. I
Oh
would have
yeah,
just shut it down.
this got way out of line. At some point, I was going like this. I said, mute them again. But I was having more fun in the chat watching the two of them. But anyway, childish. Both of you guys, we told them, they know. But anyway, so going back to this thing on calling the thing natural, and I think Father Fish, he tells people that you can add a filter, but if it's a natural tank, it's not supposed to be filtered. And I was going to tell them, I said, listen, you could have uh, your total dissolved TDS, your total dissolved solid, right?
Mhm.
We don't know what we're measuring in the
Right.
tanks. We know what we could measure, but there's a lot of crap in there that we cannot really measure. So
Mhm.
if I tell them, if the EPA says that good working water, drinking water is 50 to 100, and beyond 300 is it's really not so good, such good water. Over 600 is dangerous, right? That's what they said. That again, this is stuff
Right.
that is out there, information that you could find. So you figure Scotty from Racing Fishes, he put out a video and he says he decided to check his TDS on one of his tank, and it was way over 600. I said, if they say that for us drinking water above that is not good, how can it be good for fishes? So again, this is your natural tank. That probably would not happen in nature, right? Because you're going to have movement and exchange of
Right.
water.
Right. And there's also the fact that some of those ions will get adsorbed in the soil, and as well as rainwater not having those ions in them in the first place. So there's a
Exactly.
lot of displacement of those of TDS or
Yeah.
really conductivity of water.
Exactly.
So this raises this question. It's a good question. In a heavily planted tank with deep bioactive substrate where there is no ammonia or nitrate and nitrite and sub 20 parts per million nitrate, why are water changes needed weekly? What's your take on that?
You mean why water changes needed weekly?
If you have in this scenario, first, would you say that water changes are needed weekly in this scenario?
No. If you have again, I only measure TDS now because I was just curious, and I measure here
Mhm.
at home because I do water changes weekly again because of my stocking levels, and only because I think it's a good thing and I like it. I like doing it. This is the fun part of the hobby for me, the maintenance, right? So
I
I
am
don't think
right
it's
there with you. Exactly.
yeah,
Yes.
and I am not. I'm not opposed to whatever you do if it works for you. If you have a 120-gallon tank and you have yours is what size is that behind you?
It's just the 40 behind me.
It's a 40. If you have a 120-gallon tank, only because this is what's here, and I had at some point, I'm saying had because I have about 8 discs here that some are breeding, some are just on quarantine. I have between 24 and 27 discs in there, right? That's heavy stock plus bottom and some schools of cardinals and harlequins, right? That's still heavy stock for this tank, according to whatever rules people use, which I violate every rule as far as stocking level is. I think it needs it here, but in a tank where you have a 120 and you have heavily plants and you have some small, small species, you probably don't need to do water change. Maybe once a year is good, right? But there's maybe less, whatever works for you. Again, I'm not going to put a date or a number on you. Whatever works for you, depending on whatever system you have.
Right. And
Plants.
it's like, and like you said, you do the water changes because the maintenance is kind of part of the joy of the hobby. And that's like me. I know that there are tanks where I don't need to do that water change per se, but I'm doing it anyway. It's part of my routine, and it's certainly not harming anything to
No,
refresh the water.
it's not. I use examples. I said if you sit in a tub full of water and you pee and do your other stuff there, and the water evaporates eventually, and you're going to drink some of the water. Now you add some water, whatever solids are there, they stay. And then next time you're going to add some more solid, whether it's food, whatever it is, plants decomposing,
Right.
you're going to add to your total DTS. And the only way to remove them, I said, is with nitrates. It's by water. And now the plants are going to consume the nitrates. I could say that I've never had a nitrate problem unless the tank crashed, because I had to do a treatment to the whole tank, and then get a little bit of ammonia, but then quickly it kind of resets itself. It doesn't take too long.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to do water changes. It's my belief. You have to do water changes. You have to do it often. No, it all depends on the situation.
Right, like you said, there's things that accumulate that you can't measure alongside nitrates, and the plants cannot consume all of those things like they can the nitrogen in your water column. And so it's just a matter of like how much of that is accumulating, and is it doing visible harm to your fish? Like that's the thing. Like I can't imagine that most people in this chat are having fish that are just doing really shitty right now, that are just belly up or on their way out, and just have no idea how to go about their maintenance routine. Like I assume there's at least mostly intermediate fish keepers here.
Yeah. I think I'm not looking at the chat, and some of the names here I don't recognize. I mean, just whatever pops on the screen, because if I'm watching the chat, then I cannot be watching you guys or having a conversation.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to keep up with chat and also have a conversation for sure.
And it's difficult, and this is a fine line of how much is how much. And there was, to me, anecdotes really brings a point home. I was speaking on the phone with Jesse from Salient Aquatics earlier. I say, Jesse, I show one of your FU series to my wife, and she said, in his dramatic way, and I said silly, and his silly way, he actually drives a point home at the end. If you think you have to do water changes every week, you don't have to. It depends on your situation. And I told him, I said, listen, we're doing this thing here. Hopefully it's a good turnout. Do one on the opposite end. Do one if you think doing no water change, no filtration, it's a good thing, and his line FU, So again, I think this is probably one of his better ones of that series. So it has to be really an individual thing. You cannot say one size fits all.
Yeah, I mean, freshwater itself is super diverse. Fish are extremely adaptable because in nature, they have to survive extremes. They have to survive hardship and famine. So it just, so happens that we can kind of help them along a little bit more in our closed systems if we recognize that they are closed systems.
I did. You were the one who made a comment, because I brought it up because while the other people were fighting, I was trying to look for the comments out that I think were relevant, and you said that in a closed system, which is us, and a stagnant system, there is water movement whether we see it or not, and it does happen. And somebody else said, I think it was Peplin, I think, he says, he says that in his ponds there is water movement, although you don't see it. There is water. There is a change of water. It happens, again, rainwater, whatever, it happens. So it's very difficult. And one of the things that I feel that as we influence people, there's no doubt about that. We could influence them in a good way and in a bad way. And you have to be in the middle, and you have to filter through what the information is. There is one kid I'm from the Dominican Republic, right? So there was one kid. He's 24. I'm saying again because he's 24, but he's a civil engineer. I mentioned that before. And he says that he's been following my videos for 2 months. It seems like he's very on top of things as far as I asked him to send me a picture of his tank, and through the reflection, I saw that he stored water. So you observe certain things. So he has a really nice planted tank. A lot of Vallisneria and some sorts. It's lightly stocked with some angels and some other tetras, right? Very lightly stocked, but he wants to do discus. This is why he started watching my videos. And he asked me some things about what my quarantine process is. He wants to do what I said, listen, this is what I do because I found that works for me. That's not necessarily the way. Some people like to medicate. I choose to medicate because I've seen what has happened when you don't quarantine, whatever way works for you. So he seems very genuine and very interested in learning and listening. And he says he started fish keeping aquarophilia, started fish keeping, that's the word he used, which is, we say in Spanish mostly. So he started fish keeping because of his father at 15, but he's been serious for the last 8 years. So he said right now he's ready for discus and he wants to start doing it. And then I said, have you checked out this person in the Dominican Republic? He's 40 now. He has about 2 million followers. He said he breeds fish and he does these adventure things that he calls them, but he's very popular within Latin America. And he said he's actually, I'm going to buy the discus from him. Now, when he started this, he didn't breed discus, but he started doing it. I was helping him along the process. We were chatting almost daily. And now he has bred successfully a bunch and he's starting to sell them.
Oh, cool.
And so he's getting them from him. And he sends me some pictures. What do you think? They were kind of small still, maybe about 2-3 inches, 3 inches maybe. But he wants to, he's getting the medication that he needs. He's doing the right process of getting it done. So he's successful. So I share information with him. I give him my number. And he's been asking me a lot of questions. We've been texting and voice messaging for a while. See, I don't mind helping somebody like that because this is what I think. And then he asked me something about shrimp. I said, listen, I can give you no opinion on shrimp because I don't know shit about it, right? I said, you can look at these channels, you can do this, but I'm not going to offer you information. And then he says, oh, somebody told me that vacuuming your gravel is bad, that you shouldn't do it. I say, why is that? Right?
I mean, I would certainly do it if you needed to. That's like,
right. So,
like, how do you determine when you need to?
Right. And this is all
so
gravel.
Right.
Right.
Like Coro's question is kind of relevant to that. Like, what is the difference between good enough and best practices when it comes to advocating as a fish fluencer? And like, in my opinion, I don't really have anything that I would call a best practice. Because that kind of insinuates that everybody should be doing it.
Right.
I don't know what you think.
No, that's a very personal, because you could say it's what's good practices for you is not good practices for me, right? It's a very individual thing, and every human is unique, and so is every tank. No tank here in this house is the same. Right. But I treat them all the same because I do the same care for all of them, regardless what I have in it. Now, why do I do weekly water changes? I work 2 jobs full time, 12 hours, as I said. I try to take off every Saturday, so that breaks a 6-hour stretch. So if I don't do some on Friday nights because I want to go out with my daughter and my wife the next day, so I leave Saturday open. Sometimes I do them on the night. Maybe up until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, listening to some lives and with Jeff P. and David and Ron. Sometimes I'm just listening to them and I'm doing water changes. But again, that works for me, because if I only do some of the tanks, then did I do this one last week, or maybe I do it every 2 or 3 weeks? So if I get them all done, I know they're done once a week. And again, it's fun for me. I think and I
sometimes
keep fish, right?
Right. Well, when we're busy, sometimes that maintenance, that routine that we stick to is the only time that week that we actually get to spend time in our fish rooms. When life gets in the way and things get busy, we have this fish room routine that we go back to, and we are spending time in the fish room. Even if all we're doing is scraping algae and changing water and doing work, we're still spending time with it. We still can see what's going on.
Yeah. And my wife she likes to fish. She's the one, my daughter, who's 8 now, she's the one who listen, something's wrong with this fish. So my daughter's the one who really watches everything. Look, that one has a little cardinal. She's able to spot everything. And then if I lose one fish or I lose another one, okay, I got to treat this time. Something's going on. I don't know what it is, but I got to treat it and stop it where it is, right? That's kind of, the medical person in me says that, catch things early. Because if you keep waiting and do things quote unquote natural, I would tell some of these patients who have a really bad disease, they have cancer. I say, listen, somebody said that is naturally and the
naturally that person's going to die. Yeah.
There you go. So I said, listen, you could do anything that you can naturally, but do the known stuff that works and take your tea along with it. If it works together, which one helped you? We don't know, but do the stuff that has been proven to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to let this get too far behind. Kazuman has the Infinity Gauntlet, says he's swapping to a Planet tank, but can't get info on how to do a 55-gallon tank. That's what's behind me. And I would think the largest issue when planning a 55 is the height and how much light you have. So just the footprint of it, you want things that will grow tall enough to reach up to the light, things that are considered lower light plants, or a very, very powerful light.
Yeah. And I would say don't do the very powerful light, because all the crap at the top of the tank, it's just going to be an algae for it. It's a difficult balance to achieve, especially when I saw he said he was a beginner. I would go with low light for sure. And filtration wise, so you said you had canisters, Jose, mostly canister filters
use
running?
out of the three, I have FX6 on all of them. It's a 60-gallon cube is the smallest one, but I don't have it dialed up all the way up to the top. And it's overfiltration. Yes, it's overkill for it, but it's fine. I'm happy with that. I just control it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, as long as it's not like as long as you don't have like chili raspberries in a monsoon, just blowing.
No. Everything is even
all individual.
It's all individual. I have them adjusted. None of them I have them at full power. The one behind me is a 90, 120. This one here is a 65, and the 60 is out of view over there. So that one is, and the 60 has a lot of small barbs, cardinals. And the only thing that I have big in there is one geophagus, a Tapajo head, red Tapajo, because I have a sanded tank, and that one I've never siphoned since I got white sand, which I'm happy for. And this one here, and I installed it with the Tapajos in mind. I like to see the sifting action from them, but I've never had to siphon that at all, because they keep it clean, and the flow from the FX6 keeps it nice.
Yep. I've noticed the same thing keeping corridoras on sand is I don't have to vacuum the sand.
Yeah, exactly. So now I want to do the same thing with the 120, but probably not the white sand because it doesn't blow as much, you know, but eventually I like the look and probably we'll get there. I just don't want to disturb the plants, and as healthy as they are right now, you know, I have two very large red tiger lotus there. I mean, they're doing amazing. I hate to disturb them and whatever plants are there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wanted to say thank you to Aquariums, Animals, and Me. That's Alan for the $4 New Zealand dollars super sticker. Appreciate it.
So that's not dollary dues. What is?
It's Kiwi dollars.
Kiwi dollars. Okay.
Thank you for inviting me, by the way. Want to thank you for inviting me. Mandy is on. Hi, Mandy.
She says phosphates also seem to build up when she does smaller water changes. Some may have to also do with your source water. Yeah, because like Zen, her water has nitrates, and it has a little bit of ammonia. It has phosphates. Probably has its fertilizer runoff. Probably has potassium. Like it's just it's like pre-fertilized water. So keeping planted tanks helps when she does a water change. It's kind of like fertilizing.
Yeah. You know, I had, I think I did a phosphate test at some point for my water. I forgot what it is, New York City water. 7.4 out of the tap. TDS this morning, I tested it. It was like 54, which is low. And I never tested TDS until yesterday, you know, because again, I don't need to. But the phosphate, I forgot the number, but it was high for what I forgot because again, I don't check regularly. And I've checked the phosphate at some point because I was having some issues with some plants, and I thought that with what's that? The blackbeard algae.
Blackbeard algae.
Yeah, it was having some issues. I thought it was maybe phosphate, but algae has not. Once the tank is established, algae has not been a problem for me. 6 hours of light on the one because it's a deeper tank. All of them are. I prefer that footprint. I had 3 lights on this one here, and the one behind me, because I don't have any real plants, I only have 2 lights there because just to cover the depth of the tank, and I have 2 lights on the 65. That's also the same front to back measurement. So again, but the balance, I think, of the light, once they become stable, and they've been going for a number of years, they're doing fine.
All that debris and water changing goes a long way in preventing blackbeard in particular.
Shady Grady, hi Shady. He's saying, are you referring to my paperwork here, or the wall behind you? I don't know if he's referring to you or mine.
I think he's
for yours, for sure.
the art.
Are they sculptures? What
No,
kind of?
they are metal and stained glass pieces.
Oh, cool.
Very, very nice. Maybe I'll take one off and show you, but they're very, very pretty. I like, it's okay. This is my 8-year-old fish keeper here.
Hi.
She's done her own videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For my birthday last year, she went to Discus Madness in New Jersey, where I get most of my discus. And she actually did her own video, and that was my birthday gift. I got 2 discus,
Oh, that's super cool.
I paid for them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, discus aren't cheap,
No, right, exactly. So, it was pre-chosen. I went, but we went all together to pick it up, and it was my surprise gift. But she did her own video. I just had to edit it a little bit, but I just left it all up to her, and I just, cut some things out that were not necessary and cleaned that up a little bit. But she's the one who really, I mean, I was up the hobby for over 10 years. And during the pandemic, I got her a 7-gallon tank with the SpongeBob theme and everything else. And then from there, I jumped right into the 120, and I'm at 11, and I always get her on. I said that I'm negotiating for another tank or 2. I have them, but they're in storage, But anyway, I don't know if we lost the same. Also, these are glass and metal sculptures. They're individual pieces. And then, of course, my gift to me for the neon sign at the back.
That's cool. I love fish art. Like, that's kind of what, if I don't have a tank or like a shelf of live food cultures in the way, then I just want to replace it with art. All the wall space. Yeah,
my wife saw this other one here. That's the little painting at the top of the 120 there. It's 3 pictures, but it's 4 betas.
Oh,
and it's
cool.
3 pieces together. That was really. She actually saw that on Amazon. I said, "Oh yeah, let's get it."
Sweet.
And 65 is on this side over here, and that's one is mostly tiger barb. Lots of them. And now one of the things about tiger barb is I have some long fin fish there, including an angel with very long fins, and they don't touch it. They never did.
Is it a matter of having enough tiger barbs, or are tiger barbs just kind of given a bad rap for no reason?
I think sometimes you could have a fish of one type and it's a total jerk, and the other one is a sweetheart, right? So I had enough of them there, and I have I cannot count. Some people say, how many fish do you actually have? I have no idea, because they're all overstocked. I think having enough. One of the things that I found about tiger barbs is that they will definitely fin nip occasionally, but they're very opportunistic. If they see that there is a weak fish there, they just know it. They hone in on it, and even if they're on. One time I had this poor little guy, his lower half where we would get a fillet from a fish, that whole part was just gone, and he was still swimming. He was still alive. So I had to take him out and put him out. But they know it. Then I have a red tail shark, right? And he's very active. He's kind of bossy around. I had to separate 2 of them because one was bothering the other one. So he was sitting at the bottom, and he's very active. He was sitting at the bottom, and he had all these little scuff marks, like little pecks, and they were pecking at him. They didn't go through the scales, but they little like scuff mark. And I said, something is wrong. So I separated him, treated him. 2 weeks later, I put him back. This was a year ago, and he's back to normal. But they are opportunistic, and if they find a chance or they know a weak fish, they will certainly go after them. But I have some color, the neon. Sorry, it's blank. I'm having brain farts here. The glow tetras with long fin, and one recently died because he's got all these tumors and eventually passed. But this guy I have a few very long fins and never touched them. Now this angel, the reason why I put him in there is because in the 60-gallon I had 2 angels, probably from the same group, but one was beating the crap out of this one. So I put him out. The only place where I could put him was in that tank, because I have 1 angel in every tank. I don't keep more than that because the aggression eventually comes.
Yeah, that's what we've experienced too. Like angel, I like community tanks. I like everybody to get along. and
Yeah,
angels just kind of come in and screw all that up.
they do, and if they're breeding, forget about it. They even worse.
That's what the problem we had. We got two. We didn't know they were male and female until they started breeding, and then everything on the other side of everything on the other side of the tank just kind of cowers in fear while they're just guarding the other half of the tank. Yeah.
And they weren't even good parents. They laid eggs once and ate them, and then never again. So there wasn't even any payoff for them being like that.
Yeah. I had this very large brood of the 60-gallon. I was cleaning the glass, and I feel this really hard peck on my arm. Like, I wasn't hurt, but I mean, it was a strong blow from one of the angels. And I said, "What the heck is going on?" And then I looked; they had a bunch of eggs on an Anubia leaves, and of course, close. Yeah. And then I realized after that I lost a few fish, not angels, but they were just some of them, maybe 4 or 5 fish died, but I saw that they would go sideways and just ram the other fish. They stun them or kill them. And I said, wow. So I separated. I had one of the female got so aggressive. My wife called her mini me because she was so tiny when I got her. We swim against the car, and we didn't think she was going to live. And she was the female and very aggressive. I gave her back to a local Petco. I couldn't keep them. And now, so Shady Gray saying, do you keep for tank mate? What do you keep for tank mate for discus? I have a large school of cardinal tetras and Harlequin rasboras. I bought one angelfish, the glow angel, beautiful. Again, I buy fish mostly males for color. Discus is I just choose a pattern or color that I like, and then I have a few yo-yo loaches, some corridoras, and several different type of plecos. And I think that's kind of it. But one of the things that I found was also that in the 120, I had a lot of the fish that are behind me, not this much, but a lot of them, some barbs, and some of the, sorry about my mind, I must be tired. Some of the rainbow fish, they're very fast swimmers, so they would, during the feeding frenzy, the fish are very methodical, slow eaters. They would outfeed, they would be outcompeted for food. And some of them were losing weight, and I decided this is not good. So that's why I set up the 90 tank. So I took everything out. So I overfeed on purpose the discus. I feed them 3 times a day. I have them on automatic feeders, and I still come in most nights, and I give them a mix of frozen food, except worms. I found out that I was bloodworm. I found that was an issue for me. And I found and this kid from Keep Fish Simple, Australia. What's his name?
I saw that video.
Yeah, that he put one previously before. Gabe from Discus Madness, not Discus Madness, from Watley says, if you want to feed bloodworms, go ahead and feed them, but just be prepared to deworm them on a periodic basis because they will bring parasites. And some people, of course, swear by them. But I can tell you that since I stopped giving them worm, and I also deworm on a regular basis, I use Bendazole. But they recommend once a month a particular brand. Maybe that's what they think. You buy more drugs, of course, you spend more. But I try to do about once a month or every 2 months, whenever I remember. But since I stopped feeding the worms, or the combination of both, I've never had white poops on these guys, and that was a problem that I was having on a regular basis. I don't trust that the Hikari brand says that they are totally parasites free. We don't know how they've grown outside. They grow mostly in Asia, from what I'm told.
I mean, there's a lot of myths and mysterious mystique with fish food and what's good, what's bad. So my approach, because I don't know shit about fish food other than my fish like it or don't like it, and usually they like it. I just do a shotgun approach, and I'm feeding all kinds of stuff. So granted, I do feed bloodworms. I don't feed them that often, maybe like once or twice a week at most. The problem, but I also don't have discus. I would say the most parasite prone fish I have are the spotted Congo puffers.
Okay. And some of the, I go through a very specific quarantine process. Again, excessive, I know,
Mm.
but I lost a whole tank, and it was probably about $4,000 or $5,000 worth
That's
about
what
3 years
that's what
ago.
it takes sometimes, is that huge loss for you to realize that
Yeah,
quarantine is pretty damn important.
and I was quarantining anyway, but I got this really large school of either rummy nose or cardinals. I like the cardinals because of the
Mm.
full red band across.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have about maybe 40 of the green neons that first time I've had them, so they're in quarantine for a while. And I got a little bit, sometimes you get a little bit impatient. You want to see the school finish along with the discus, and I cut the quarantine short, and I went up with columnaris. I lost the whole tank and about 50% of the other fish because he came across. And I did a lot of treatment. Some got saved, but it was painful. And I said, seeing 3, 4, 5 discus every day drop, it was like the last 5 I had to euthanize them. Because it was just painful.
Ugh. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a low point for sure when that happens. So Rachel was wanting to know where you're located. You're in New York, right?
I am in New York City. I lived outside of the city for about 30 years. I still commuted into the city for 30 years from my to one or two hospitals that I worked in. But life happened, divorce happened. I remarried, so I moved into the city now. My little one that you saw, she's in the school system here. So other than just catching up and pulling all financial baggage,
Mm-hmm.
I would eventually like to move into a house again. My house, I still co-own it with my ex-wife. And 2 of the older children are still there, 37 and 32. They kind of stay with mom still, but they'll be moving out soon. So I think that house eventually is going to have to be sold, and we have to split the difference, so to speak. But whatever house I get is going to be obviously with fish in mind.
Yeah.
Oh, of
Meaning,
course,
I want a
yeah.
concrete floor in some place.
Maybe a drain in the floor and a sink in the room. That's always helpful.
I have to set it up for that for sure.
So,
Yeah.
Stephen, we're 42 minutes in. Would you like to go through the participants list?
Probably. I mean, this is an unconventional stream, so it is what it is. So normally, at about 15 minutes, Jose, we usually start playing our games where we're doing guessing Fishfam logos, AI generated fish, and then we do like a fish dictionary game.
I've been there. So, I've seen them. I've seen your. That's why I asked about you and Jenna if you were linked somehow.
Yeah. But and you're welcome to stay and hang out with us as we.
I'll hang out. I'll hang out and listen in and I'll be here.
Awesome.
And
All
you
right,
can
so,
guess in private chat if you want.
Yep.
I'm going to look at some of the comments here to see if there's anything that I can respond to.
Okay. So let's say hello to My Fish Tanks Aquatics, Cheryl Smith, Branton Lightcap, Jeff Kane, Jody P, Foxy's Fishes, Zinger, Life Lessons Crew, it's Melvin, Linda Worth, TJ Autocross, Shady Grady, Mystery Snail Gardens, Uncle Smiley's Aquariums, Nancy B, Fish Tank Barn, Peplin Creek Aquatics, Renee DeQueer, Fathom Aquatics, Boots Cats, Nathan Hovey, David's Aquatics, Benjamin Peters, Toonie Loon, Fishwit, Oinky, Fish Fam, Link, Loomy, Whips World, Stan Pittman, Guilty Creek, Sharkfin Adventures, Nick Schultz, Matt F, the Nano Aquarium Guy, Night Owl Aquatics, Liquid Zoo Only Fins, Craig's Catfish Cave, Mexicali Fishkeeper, Red Laser, Geek Boy, Coral Works, Jim's Fish, Vanoski, Tracy Ballard, Candy Overholes, Neo Veritas, GNC Aquatics, Moneyless Maven Shirley, Sleeper Barbecue, I think it's a new name, welcome, ALA Aquatics, Aquarium Talk TV, Mark Sterlson, Crown Tail Half Moon, Aquarium Domain, Big Steve's Glass Boxes, Aquariums Animals and Me, Kazoo Man has the Infinity Gauntlet, Aqua Funk, Atkins Nature Aquariums, Aqua Escapes, Tank Girl, Chris Howell, Regina Phalanges, Only Oscars, Brookley Bell, Rocky and Miles, Into the Future, Skipper's Aquariums, and Fish Frenzy Addiction. There we go.
Okay. Oinky asked, does anyone have experience with the black 24-inch Lifeguard Aquatics full spectrum LED aquarium light? We have a Lifeguard tank. Did it come with a light?
Yeah, it's like a little. It's
not
actually
a 24-inch, but
we're using it on Lillian's terrarium now, and it's fine. Although after listening to Scene Fought, I might reconsider using LEDs in a reptile enclosure. Like apparently it might be not so great for their eyes. So something to consider there. But yeah, like we were growing plants with it. You know, I put a dimmer on it, and the dimmer worked, so that's good. My criteria for like a cheaper light like that, is it dimmable? Because normally, if they're not dimmable, then it greatly depends on what tank you're doing it. You're putting it on, and the light can be too high, and starting off a tank with that kind of light is kind of working against you because of algae and such. And welcome in Big Cat and Jonathan G. Yeah, Oinky is asking, do you know where Middletown, New York in Orange County is? She's right outside.
Yes, I was looking for her first name. I have it here. I lived in Harriman, so you know exactly where that is. It's about 20 minutes east of Middletown, New York. So I lived 30 years between New City and Middletown, and Harriman. So between those two places, so I know exactly where you are.
And so, how far away are you from Pennsylvania? Say the Philadelphia area.
Me?
Yes.
Philadelphia, probably about 3 hours, more or less. I have to go
Pretty
to
close.
part of Jersey, so about three and a half hours, I think, something like close to that. And
that's,
part of it. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's not too far to go to the Keystone Clash. If you,
where Keystone Clash is?
it's in September. It's in Morgantown, Pennsylvania, about 40 minutes outside of Philadelphia.
What part of the week is it?
It is on a
September.
weekend. Yeah, the last weekend in September.
It's a weekend. Also, that probably is probably something that could possibly happen, because usually I do try to take Saturdays off, some Sundays. So that'll probably be the first fish event that I'll attend.
I mean, you're going to meet probably a good 100-something people from Fishfam are going to be there.
That'll be cool. I'm going to try to. I'll listen to future lives of you and just keep the check for the date, and I will see if I can certainly make it.
Oh yeah, we will be talking about it to an exhausting level as it gets closer to the event, where people will be sick of it. Yeah.
A lot of the time, it's nice to connect names and faces with people that you frequently interact with.
Right. Welcome in, Moose and Anna Banana.
Morgantown, 2 hours and 33 minutes.
¿Qué fue? También, por aquí.
And Big Cat asked, what are the dates again? It's September 26th to 28th.
This is my better half. This is Jenna.
Hi.
And Steven, the husband, wife.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So how into the fish tanks is she?
You know, it's funny because back home again, her father, what he used to do, he used to take a car battery, standard car battery. He used to gut it out, and that was a fish tank that they had back home.
Car battery?
Again, you have the solid.
Yeah, it's like a half gallon or so.
Yeah, more or less, but again, they were like guppies, stuff you would catch on a stream, and that's what they said. They used to have that as a fish keeper. She was never really I'm looking at this. Do you like any fish store in New York City? Jose Davila. I love going to Monster Aquarium. They're in Elmhurst, and I really like the place. That's one of 3 that I frequent regularly. The 2 other 2 are in New Jersey. So she was never really had like a real fish tank, but to her, we got one here for the little one, as I said, a 7.5 gallon during the pandemic. A few little fish, the standard for little kids. And then I just kind of say, you know what, I was out over 10 years out of the hobby. So I got the 120 and then kind of kept growing. But she doesn't really oppose it. She doesn't bother me too much. Sometimes I said, you know how much I pay for it? I don't want to know. So she doesn't bother me too much. She's just, she's a stay-at-home mom. She takes care of our daughters. And I said, I'll deal with the rest. I worry about the household. But not so much of that. But, she certainly... this is not a, what I say goes. It's, we say it's a democracy here. So we plan things together. But as far as the fish, she likes it. She's the one who actually encouraged, she's the one. I bred discus because of her, because again, a lot of the times I have 3 pairs, at least 2 times a week. I have 1 or 2 pairs here with eggs. And right now I have a breeding pair with eggs. They had fries the other day. They didn't, sometimes, discus is difficult. they don't make it a lot of the time, the babies. They don't attach early to the parents. But most of the times, I think this is the maternal thing in her. She always said, "Oh, take them out. Take that pair out. They should have. They'll be nice." And so a lot of times I let the breeding happen because of her. Because it's I feed them twice a day. Then she feeds them a few times during the day when we do have fries. And I have other stuff that bred here. Some crevences recently, and they have eggs again. I've one of the places that I go to, the one that I just mentioned in Queens. I just met a random person there, and I said I saw crevences, and one of the times I said, have you keep those? I said, no, I never kept them. I said, okay, here's my number. We'll hook up one day, and I have about 12 to give you. So I'll give it to him. Because what am I going to do with all the fries? That's why I don't like light bearers. Because it's what do you do with the babies then?
Oh yeah. Thank you, Kelly. Happy New Year. Thank you for the super chat. And Alishon wanted to know, what shops in New Jersey do you frequent? He thinks one is Absolutely Fish.
Absolutely Fish on Route 46 is. Let me back up a little. Earlier, somebody had mentioned, actually Funk had mentioned Absolutely Fish. I just couldn't come up with the name. I go a lot to Fish Hut, and then I go to Discus Madness, which is in New Jersey also. Absolutely Fish, I go there occasionally if I'm looking for something and one of the other stores doesn't have it. It's just slightly further out, not the distance, but just that you get accustomed to certain local fish stores. You know what you're looking for. You'll find them there when you go. Some small stuff, I use Aquahuna a lot for the small breeds. But if it's Discus, I like to go to Discus Madness because they always have what I want and I have a lot to choose from. And I like the quality there. Now, on the other store in Queens that I just mentioned, Monster Fish, this Discus here that although I went to buy some frozen food and I asked, did you get a Discus shipment recently? Oh yeah, we got one last week. So I went down to the basement level where they have the Discus. And there were 2 Discus that I came home with that I had no plans for. But one of them I just had to have, just the color. I'd never seen anything like this one. And it was a color, it's a hybrid of some other color. They couldn't tell me what breed it was because they brought it in from Asia, wherever they import this one from. And it was already as a pair with one, not of the same one. But they said, well, we're selling it as a pair. I said, well, I'm sure for the right price, you're going to sell it. And it had a price. So I was happy to pay $235 for it, which I paid more from some of these other ones that I had. But I think it's probably my favorite one that I have right now. And it's still in quarantine for a few more weeks. Let's see. Jose, if you haven't been back to Harriman for a while, the new and improved row splits near the Woodbury Common. Oh, yeah. No, listen. Woodbury Common is a very, very large shopping area. That highway is amazing. The way they split it, it's just the flow. I said you had to have some, great engineers to the way they did the flow, and it was a very complicated area. They always had to have cops there directing traffic. My doctors are still up there, by the way, in Monroe, New York. So most of the time, although I live in the city now, I do all my business outside of the city, doctors and everything else. So I know the area, what you're talking about. It's amazing what they've done there.
I was assuming fun meant like horrible traffic.
No. It's actually no. It used to. Well, I don't know. Did she say fun? I missed a fun part.
She said fun, triple fun.
Oh, okay. Fun. Well, I think the way it was before. I don't know if she remembers it the way it was before. On weekends, and forget about Christmas time, you had a cop every other, like 2 cops per block, just to direct traffic. It was a mess. But right now, the flow, the way they did it, it's like at some point you're going against traffic, what you would think is against traffic, because the way they split the lanes and they crisscross at some point. It was a very busy roadway, but I think it improved a lot. I didn't go there for Christmas, but I lived 2 blocks from there, so I could walk there. But when I got up there, it's like every time I go through there, I always tell my wife, this is amazing what they did with this roadway here. But it was good engineering, I think. I don't know if it was in a sarcastic way, but it's a busy area. There's about over 300 stores. They're all brand names. It's an outlet, so it's a mess for Christmas.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Thank you, Nancy. She said, "Send Johnny to the Clash." I think you're lost.
I think he has to go.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna go for sure. So Jose said, "I got some fish from the Monster Aquarium in Flushing before they but they really live up to their name with all the arapimas, alligator gar, arowanas, etc. I wish they focused more on nanofish and plants. Now, who are they selling arapimas to?
I don't know, but I've seen some. I mean, the name, they live up to the name, but they do have, Jose, they do have a lot of nano fish there. If you know, when you go into the store at the back area, there's a lot of nano stuff there, but they do have the huge one. I've seen some huge, the biggest I've seen, clown loaches there. They like almost look like a football size, a little bit smaller than a football. I have some here, and I always wanted them, and I had them before, but I got them because they're really slow growers, but I'm not looking forward to letting them go when they get to a size that is too much for this.
Yeah.
And
our biggest
Alicia,
fish is a black ghost knife, and that's kind of an outlier for us too. Like it's
really?
much larger than most of the fish we have.
Yeah. How is it predatory in any way? I've always seen them, but I just some fish you either like them or you don't like them.
They have the potential to be, right, just because they can be territorial, and certainly they're omnivores, and we haven't witnessed them actually predating on anything though.
Yeah, in fact, the ghost knife was the first fish that went in the tank, and then I wanted to put my orange Venezuelan quarries in there with it as like part of a cleanup crew. And I was like, before I put these orange Venezuelan quarries, let's see what happens when we like throw some coal guppies in there.
And shrimp too.
And some coal shrimp. He does not care. The shrimp have bred, the guppies have bred. So it's like, well, I guess the quarries will bump into him while food is in there. They are not scared. So but I've heard from other people that their ghost knife like decimated their like fish.
And it's probably like I said before. Sometimes you have the jerks, and sometimes you have the others that doesn't meet the stories. Alishan said Fish Hut is known mainly for African cichlid. Yeah, but they have well over 300 tanks, and about 70% of the store is African cichlids. I love the African cichlids in terms of their colors. I wouldn't keep them because of their aggression. I don't like aggressive fish, or I think that would stress me out.
Well, I think Steven's thing is the planted tanks that they don't get along with plants.
They got to be plant compatible. I love live plants. Like that's definitely 50% of the passion there. I couldn't do the hobby without the plants.
Yeah.
And normal. And of course, I think the most aggressive fish we have are the puffers, and they're not that aggressive. They're just don't mess.
These are a bit larger puffers.
They're shouted-in-eyed spotted Congo puffers, so they're like max size, maybe 4 inches.
Yeah. Alice Shan is asking, it's on the screen, if I've attended a North Jersey AS meeting. I have not attended any kind of fish clubs. My time is a difficult one. I was looking, one of my daughter's 31-year-old boyfriend, they had it near the New York Aquarium. There was some sort of meeting of a fish club, but I think we were supposed to get together, and we never happened. Also, the Global Fish Company. Yes, there's a great another company that is up there in Jersey. They're all within a couple of miles of each other. I actually did one of the videos, store tour. Those were the only 4 that I did. The Fish Hut, the Global Fish Company, Aquarium, Monster Fish, and Fish and Discus Madness. I did store videos on those. Again, those are the ones that I visit. The other 3 most frequently, but these 2 it's less frequent.
Let's see.
Nancy had
B, member for 30 months. There was, and then June, thank you so much for the 1999 super chat. She just says meow meow meow. Mark, thanks for being a member for 33 months.
33 months.
So before we start the game, there was another question for you from Coro. Where is it?
Right.
He wanted to know if you could create an aquarium product, even if there isn't a profit for it. What do you wish you could buy?
Wish I could buy
or create. I don't know. I think he changed his mind halfway through the question.
I have a quick question. I have a quick answer for you.
Huh.
UV light that fits in line with the FX6s.
I thought that existed.
No, the hosing size. I actually bought one thinking that it would fit, and it fits the 201 series, the 200 series with the smaller tubing. So I returned it when I got it because I thought it would fit in. I would only use it on the discus fish again for the nature of these guys. Anything that I can use to reduce illness, I probably will use that one. So I have to do my homework and see if I can find something else, but it has to be outside of the tank. I don't want it inside.
Now they have these. I have one. I forgot what brand it is. It's huge though, and kind of the purpose of it is like exposure time. So I wonder if you have it in line with an FX6, just how fast the flow is on that.
It'll be probably too fast.
Yeah. So what I have is like kind of a bring your own pump sort of UV filter. So I just have a very weak pond pump on it, and so there's a lot of exposure time in the water, and so the turnover is kind of slow, but supposedly eliminates more things. I think the longest exposure time required is for parasites. I have to check again.
Yeah, Alex Fallon, he says that there is a new version for the FX6. I did not know that. Yeah, so
interesting.
Thank you, Alex. That's good to know. I will look into that one because that's something that I've been thinking about. And I know the exposure time and the flow with the discus. I think I'm at about 50% on the dial for the FX6. So I don't know how slow it has to go.
There was like a chart that mine came with gallons per hour or something like that. So what is the risk with discus? Like what makes UV so important for the what pathogens in the water that are risky for them?
With discus, I found that the most common thing that they like to get affected a lot is hexamida. Now, again, since I'm doing the monthly, I use flubendazole again, as I said, for general parasite. I've not had any white poops. I have not seen any issues with parasites. Hole in the head you get occasionally, and it's funny because I noticed that the two males, specifically the blue coloring, two of them, when they breed, they have gotten a hole in the head. And now a lot of times they say that hexamida is always present, but if they have any kind of weakness, I guess they stressed out protecting the eggs, then the two separate males have gotten a hole in the head. And I've taken it out and treated just in case, but with one get it, I'm afraid that the rest of the tank is gonna get it. But I treat the whole tank. There's one guy here I just sat and watched. One of the big males here, always breeding at least once or twice a week. He got a hole in the head. This is the first time I've seen it on him. Again, a blue version, but the hole is closing up. So I didn't take him out. I said, let me watch him for a few days. Let me see what happens. But it's closing up on its own. So it was a hexamida. I don't know. Okay, but it was certainly only during the breeding period. But that's
one illness I haven't dealt with is the hole in the head.
Yeah, and it can be nasty. During the time that I had that big loss here, one of the guys started with really had quite a number of them. Let me see. You shouldn't run. June says that you shouldn't run the UV 24/7. How long, June? I have no knowledge of UV at all. I've never used it, but it's something that I've been considering if it's going to reduce the risk.
Is it that it can wipe out all of your beneficial bacteria if it's too long?
No, because it's only water column bacteria.
Exactly, yeah. And those are the ones that, since we don't measure for them, we don't know. And it's the water column bacteria, which is one of the big things with the previous stream, because he's a big believer that that a lot of the fish illness because of the free-floating bacteria. The beneficial bacteria, it's in the media, in the gravel, everything else, but he believes that the free-floating bacteria is the source of all evil.
Yeah, and I don't think it's quite as binary as that because, for example, keeping rainbow fish, one of the biggest fears of infection is mycobacteria. And mycobacteria reproduce on surfaces just like your nitrifying microbes. And you can't. I had a UV filter thinking maybe I could sort of mitigate that problem, but apparently not so much. It's more about It's more about cleanliness, cleaning your filter and making sure those surfaces are kind of wiped down as much as you can, but it's never completely gone.
No. And we do fish keepers. We do the best we can to keep them healthy, and some things just get out of your hand, and we cannot save them all. Even at Italy, working in an emergency room, people come in, they have issues. We don't know what they are sometimes coming in, but we do the best, but we cannot save them all. It's just there's a point in us and in fish that we get.
Right.
We can
One
do
thing
only
you
so much.
mentioned in the last stream is like someone or a fish can look absolutely fine and then die.
Yeah. I had a person. I was one of the housekeepers said this lady, very sick lady. He says, "Wow, she was just talking like 5 minutes ago, and then she went into cardiac arrest." And I said, "Well, apparently on the surface to you, she looked okay, but she had some serious, but she didn't see all the medications that were pumped that we were using to keep her pressure up. She had multiple system failure, and it comes to a point, and where she just cannot do it anymore. So it's sometimes you don't know what causes it. At least in human, we know because the person has already a medical history, and when they come in, you know what's going on, what's the issue of the day is. But in fish, you don't know because we're not going to take a fish to a vet, or we're not going to do lab studies on a fish. It happens, and you could try to guess and make educated guesses, so you don't know all the time.
It's a very frustrating part of the hobby when there's fish pathology in general, because a lot of people are very, very confident in what they think something is, and the bottom line is we have no idea unless we're seeing it with our own eyes, literally under a microscope.
Right. And one of the things, again, we tell people, especially young, again, I feel being infused to fish with fish too, or you too, that we do have. I feel that we have a responsibility as we influence young people who are coming into the hobby. They look for answer. I did. At some point you're out of the hobby for a while. The technology that it was in 1980, it's not the same as it is today. We didn't do a lot of the things that we do today. I can tell you something. Just in medicine alone, in my 41 years out of school, some of the things that we did 20 years ago, 10 years ago, that we do today was not possible back then. And it's surprising, changes that it's like, wow, it's amazing. Some of the things that we do, talking about one of the things that came out in Corey's interview with Patty was that he says that as far as the dirted, I think that it's a way of promoting or selling stuff to people who are lazy, which that's again, I'm quoting them. It's not my thing.
I agree with him. I 100% agree with him.
This is why I did the response video, because I said, if you become a fish keeper, it's to take care of fish, right? Now,
Live
how
animal.
how many tanks do you hold right now, active?
We have 20.
20, okay. Now, there's two of you that probably, I'm sure Jenna is as much involved with the water changes, so that's your job.
He does not let me. I have offered so many times.
Like I said, it's part of the fun. It's part of the maintenance. I insist.
Yeah, my wife doesn't get involved. She said, that's your hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, she's involved in to some degree, but she said, it's your hobby. I take care of that. And she may help me with sometimes, the glass top, she may, help offer to clean sometimes, and everything helps. But I think if I let her do it, I probably wouldn't be happy the way she did.
Yeah. I mean, she, like, Jenna is very much into it, and she's very much into the hobby. She's into the community. If I asked her for help, I certainly would get it. And she's very good at spotting illnesses before me. Her eyes are better than mine. So,
and whenever I was a teacher in the classroom, I had a tank in my classroom, and I maintained that one by myself, obviously.
Yeah.
No, I can tell you, she's seen me do it plenty of times. That if I got sick or something and she had to do it, she knows the process. She would do it, but again, she has plenty of stuff here to do. That I'll take care of the fish, and I'll take care of the tanks.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say division of labor, of responsibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that like some people say with your work schedule, how can you take care of so many tanks in the house? I said, well, it's 11. active ones. And it takes me, if I just have to do water change, I don't have to clean the glass. I don't get really having some green spot algae I may have on the anubias and sometimes on the glass. Like you don't really see it until you do a video. And I said, oh shit, look at this. Some green spot on the glass. But maybe every 2 to 3 weeks I do a sponge inside, for the glass. And that's pretty much as much algae as I get on top of the glass with the light. You made it. I may
Right.
get some algae there.
Yeah, lids are
really-
annoying
Yeah,
for sure.
it can't do much about that. But I see spots a lot of the illness. I say, look, something is wrong here, and if a tank, if there is something, 1 or 2 fish dies in a week, the tiny ones usually, I said, something is going on. I don't know what it is, but let me take precaution, and I do my routine, and it's whatever was going on stops, and if anyone's were sick, they improve or they die, but it's the unfortunate part again.
Have you bred thread fins?
Oh no, I've had thread fins, but I never try. I don't try breeding them. If they breed, it's because they just do it on their own. But I don't do it on purpose, trying to breed them.
And thread
Right.
fins, they're not technically rainbows, but they probably still have
I have-
small fry.
Yeah, I have no idea at this point
rainbows.
what's allowed to be called a rainbow.
Yeah, they call them the rainbow, but who knows?
Yeah. It's always funny to me that the word rainbow is like such a contentious word. It's a common name, and now we're like trying to decide to dictate like what can be called a rainbow.
June wants me to just start doing water changes. I think you would have a panic attack.
You know what to do. You know how to remove water. You're the one who's always asking me, did you put the prime in? And most of the time the answer is yes.
Do
So
you always
I
use
think
prime?
I use for the convenience. I use
we
prime.
have chloramine in our water, so we have to
I
use
don't-
something.
I never not use it. I always use it. I recommend it. I could smell the chlorine. I've tested for chlorine. I don't do it on a regular basis, but I have the kit just for curiosity and from some earlier videos. I have the kit for that. I have the kit for phosphate. I don't use it. And there's some measuring things that I have, but I don't use it. But sometimes my wife says she doesn't smell it. Maybe she used it, but I could smell the chlorine. If the water's running, I could actually smell it in my area. And it tests at a good number when I do actually measure it. But I won't go home without it, as I say with the I use safe because with all the tank it's just less expensive. Goes a long way.
Right.
The most important job belongs to the person who asked the water changer, did you put prime in?
There you go.
All right. So we'll start with these logos. We'll keep talking as we show the logos, but I just wanted to let everyone know. So it's a new year. The points have reset. We're changing up the rules just a little bit. So last year, an accurate logo guess for like the blurriest logo was worth 4 points. This year, we're showing 2 different versions of the logo. One's worth 2 points, and if we have to move on to the other one, it's only worth 1 point, to kind of level the playing field for people who are new to the community, don't know every single logo, don't study the cheat sheet of logos like a madman or woman, red-headed woman named Zinger. And also, we're going to accept the first 5 answers instead of 3, just to kind of help with the people who kind of get their answer in right off the bat, but are just slightly beaten by someone else who's a little bit faster, like faster internet. And I think that's all the changes, right?
Oh, are you going to implement the first loser off the wheel if you lose
Yes.
also gets a point?
Yes.
Kitty point?
Yep. If you are first off the wheel, you get a point. How about that? And June is just now learning about a cheat sheet.
We should all change our logos 3 times a week to really help.
It would
Steven
be
out.
it would be a super helpful thing if y'all could do that, because I'm running low.
Jose, how is the water hardness in your area?
Yeah, I'm just reading through that here on the phone. I will tell them in a second.
55 TDS, you said, so that's got to be pretty soft.
Yeah, that's if I remember, that is actually just have a note here because I did a test not too long ago.
That's great for plants, by the way, if you want to start getting really, really into the planted tanks. All right. first logo. Yeah, no, like New York area, soft water, Pacific
Yeah, this
Northwest,
was-
soft water.
The water was pretty soft when I tested it. I'm just looking because I just ran in by chance. I just ran into a little note in one of the pictures that I had because I forgot what the video was on, but I included that I did the TDS for it.
Mhm.
Wait a
Is
minute,
this-
you said TDS?
Yes. No, no.
Okay.
Hardness.
No,
So
the
I guess
hardness.
you mean
The
GH.
TDS was the TDS was 55 here. Yesterday I tested, and TDS out of the top was 55. The highest one in the tank that has medication was 135, which is still not bad
Yeah.
considering.
Yeah.
Is this the logo that you showed me the whole logo of?
Yes.
Okay.
And so no one's
Just
got it yet.
verifying. And yeah, nobody has gotten it.
Okay, moving on
Oh.
to just 1 point.
Nobody got that one.
No.
I suck at them. Every time I try to look at them, I say no. The records.
Oh yeah, I'd be terrible at it. I'm glad I don't have to play. All right.
Okay, we have 5 now. And
Good job, Big
thank
Cat.
goodness, Big Cat, you got your own logo.
Okay, call them out to me.
Big Cat, aquatic moose, coral, peplin, and fishwit.
Okay. When
I can coast through the year now. Few.
All righty.
Then said there, y'all happy people are beating me now.
Mm-hmm. I bet they are really happy. Here we go.
It's the second one.
Has anyone been using the new emoji for Branton?
Yeah, I saw
Okay.
Branton used it. It says like
Good.
Branton wheel.
Good. It's there to be abused.
See, it says members
Nice.
Branton.
Mm-hmm. Nice pink wheel. Yeah, I'm assuming your TDS is probably not like a bunch of random stuff. Probably a combination of KH and GH.
Yeah, I tested it not too long ago. I did it more for the purpose of this particular video, but I did this coincidentally. I just ran into it. I said, "Oh, look at this!" And I was looking for something else, and I saw it. The reason why I don't know is because I don't test for it because it's not going to change anything that I do. I don't chase numbers, and that's why I don't remember the name. But it was somewhere in that it was not high. And I have the test kits, but I don't use it either long because I'm not going to change anything. Whatever it is what it is.
Yeah.
Pig Steve says new rule: the logo owner must be in chat. The last one they were, and maybe this one they also are, but nobody's gotten it so far.
Yeah,
So
we have weird water down here where it's groundwater and it comes from there's a lot of clay in our soil, and so a lot of really all of the calcium and magnesium are adsorbed by the clay before it reaches our tap. So we have KH, we have no calcium or magnesium, so I do have to add a little bit of calcium to my water at every water change.
So it's just 2 people who got it.
Somebody actually got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 3 people. I see Shady Grady got it in before I clicked. So we have Fathom.
Of course. Yeah. I was expecting him to get it.
Crown Tail.
Crown Tail.
And Shady Grady.
All right.
And Fishwit was in here. In fact, she got one of the points for Big Cat, and I
Didn't
hovered
recognize her
on
own logo. That's how
hovered
it
on
goes.
her logo for a long time just so that people could
Mhm.
see it.
So that would look really bad if I got this wrong. Ta-da! Yeah, it's yours. Alrighty. And now for these crazy AI generated fish.
Yeah.
This one will be a little bit
Fish with her name is Asia, right? Asia?
right. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome, Faux Sushi.
Wow.
Oh, Rocky and Miles said they got.
Is that a real fish?
Oops. It is a fish
no.
generated by AI. It does not. It's not real.
Okay.
Yeah, check on Rocky and Miles.
No, I think the guess was Fathom, but it was Fishwit. I see Fathom, and I see Crown Tail.
Yeah, the logo was Fishwit. So we got any guesses here?
Oh, well, I can only look at
No.
so many things.
We'll look at more things.
Well, I see so far 2, 3 correct answers. At least 4. I would say at this point we just give it to those people.
All right, call them out.
So that would be, let me make sure that I am starting at the first one. That would be Nick Schultz.
This is a gold nugget, right?
Yes. There's
Okay.
at least 5 because
Okay.
I have YouTube open to make sure that.
All right, so we got Nick gets a point.
And the next one would be Skipper.
All right.
Branton.
Now they're guessing what the name of this fish is an AI, or what is supposed to be.
So we ask an AI image generator to draw a fish. Like we either use the common name or the scientific name or something like that, and it comes up with an approximation of the fish, and the goal is guess what it was thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what
AI is really bad at drawing plecos. It doesn't know what a pleco looks like.
Yeah, that's if I would guess, am I allowed to play here?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks a lot like I have a few golden nugget. If anything, of course not correct, but that was the closest one I think that I've seen.
Yep, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
So it gave me something way different, and I had to ask it to reimagine and be like, hey, can you like put some yellow spots on it at least?
Do you have that original image that it thought it was?
I do.
Sometimes you have to. So Crown Tail got the next one,
and Boots Cats and Crown Tail, and that's the 5.
All right.
Let me look at what it gave me before.
And then I'll do this one. This next one I think will be a lot easier. It's a little bit more literal.
Oh, I'm gonna forward the original image to you, Steven, just because my OBS sometimes. That's not the new one. That was last week's.
It is?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, well, never mind. Cancel that. I guess
that was the white wizard snail.
It was
from last week.
Oh,
all right. Everyone's saying wizard snail, wasting your time because I messed you up. All right, let's see.
It's the one right under the gold nugget that I sent you. But if you want to show, so I just forwarded you what it originally gave me with gold nugget. And I was
Oh.
like, it needs to be a catfish, and it needs to have spots. It's like, no one would have gotten
No.
gold nugget
No.
pleco from that.
No. It's
But
like
yeah,
some sort of a pike, if anything, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
no,
it doesn't even have whiskers. Yeah.
go up to where the grass cutter ruined your nap.
Yeah. Oh, here
There
it
you
is.
go. Yeah, that was not a gold.
There it is. Okay.
Oh God,
I think
like,
people can guess what this
It's ridiculous.
A snake head, maybe.
I mean,
Well, it's pretty literal.
4. I see 4 people so far. 5. Okay, I see 5 now. So this is what they think a tire track eel is. So we got Zen,
Okay.
Peplin,
Okay.
Cheryl, CR Fish.
Hey Cheryl, how are you?
Wait,
I would
Todd.
have known what it was. I don't think I've ever seen them. The real one. Let me take a peek and see if I could find one.
Cheryl. Okay. Okay,
Todd.
Cheryl, and then okay.
Do you have Todd?
Yep.
And then Benjamin Peters.
Oh.
The tire track eel, like the actual one,
okay.
doesn't look too far off from like a fire eel.
Yeah.
Like it definitely has that eel shape, the black body. I think eels are cool looking fish.
I don't like them. They look too much like snake. I don't like snakes.
I was kind of averse to snaky fish when I first got in the hobby, but then I kind of really fell in love with coolie loaches, and now we have those dwarf red tail eels.
We have dwarf red tail eels.
Fantastic.
Yeah, the coolie loaches are again. I love loaches, and the coolie loaches. I think if they look kind of very snaky like, but they're tiny, and I think they hide a lot also. But I go back and forth whether I should get some or not.
Rope fish are still a little freaky to me, but
I think they're cute.
and
their fins are like right by their face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, also the dojo loach also. I don't know, again, for the same reasons.
Oh, they're too snaky.
Yeah.
Thick boys, yeah.
So what about actual snakes? Do you have a problem with?
Well, that's why I don't like the snake fish. That's why I have a problem with the snake.
Right. Actual snakes is the worst.
Oh yeah, that's I watch nature show and I think they're interesting creatures, but not near me. Just reptiles in general. My wife has a thing with lizards. Most reptiles, but lizards especially, she has a major phobia about them.
Yeah,
I think
his mom hates lizards. Our daughter has a gargoyle gecko, which is like a sweet little lizard that you can just hold and will sit on your shoulder and stuff. And when she first got it, she took it out to show Steven's mom, and they jumped, and it jumped near her, and she like freaked out.
I think my wife had to live in Puerto Rico for a short time. And Puerto Rico, from the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico is overrun with iguanas in most places. And she would not leave the house.
I think iguanas are cool too, but I've heard they can be like a difficult pet. Like some people though, you see like YouTube videos where they like have them free roaming in their house like a dog. But it's an iguana.
No. It's an iguana. Yeah, I think most reptiles. I think turtles. I'm kind of okay with. I wouldn't keep them, but I think turtles is probably the only reptile that I will be more comfortable with. Not the snappy ones.
Hey, did you get? So I'm checking on the YouTube side for Moose. Did he? He's protesting the score. And I forgot who the last person was.
The last person I said was Benjamin Peters. And I see Benjamin Peters, tire track eel.
Yep.
And then Linda Worth, and then Moose.
Well, all right. Let's play What the Fish. These are actual fish that we drew.
I mean, we did our best. Okay, push a button.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, we need a new intro, but not
I gotta
until
do
you
the
finish
merge
the
design. So do all turtles live a long time?
I think probably a lot of them do. They long life for most, I think.
Alrighty. And of course, we have a theme to all these fish, which will also be awarded 1 point.
Matt says it's January 3rd. Why haven't you gotten the merch done yet?
Oh,
we didn't say refresh.
Oh well.
I typed it just in case.
Be refreshed. Have been refreshed previously.
Road turtles don't live too long. No, they don't.
No, not really.
Wow.
I actually.
June says that her turtle will live for 45 years.
Wow. Yeah, that's a long commitment.
That's long. Some fish
we
are long
warned.
commitments. Oh, please.
We warned our daughter too when she got the gargoyle gecko. Like that's those geckos live 15 plus years.
Yeah, like a dog.
Like a dog.
I see 2 that are correct so far.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, who are they? Because that's it.
Okay, there are 4 total. Oh,
Okay.
now there's 5. Okay.
All right.
So we have Alashon. It's a Spanish hogfish.
Yep.
Hogfish is not good enough. It's
Nope.
So then we have Zen.
Okay.
Ready for the next one? Geek Boy?
Yeah. All righty.
Fish Frenzy Addiction.
Okay.
And, oh my God, let me make sure that it jumped. And I don't want to skip anybody because the last one it's Moose.
Okay. It's actually a moose this time. Good.
And give Matt a point.
Matt got the theme.
Yep, it is. It is
Yep,
languages.
Language theme. Alrighty. Well,
Is there a fish cheat sheet?
The internet.
Alex Fathom has a different theory about the length of years for turtles. He says that the PetSmart turtles don't last too long, but it has nothing to do with the turtles.
The length of an object is different from its height. While length indicates how long an object is, height determines how tall an object is.
Talking about the actual length. How long is the object?
This is Moore's. Oh, you guys are drawing this one?
Yes.
Looks like a Moore's angel or not the Moore's.
The theme is languages.
Oh,
so So the first one was it the Spanish hogfish?
Yes. And I think we might have 5 by now.
Okay.
So we have Geek Boy. It's a French angelfish.
All right.
Alashon. Fish Frenzy Addiction.
Okay.
Scotty.
Okay.
And Aquatic Moose.
All righty.
Stephen and Jen, I'm going to let you guys go. I have these two ladies here. I'm going to pay a little attention to them.
No
Okay.
problem.
So, listen, I appreciate it. You inviting me.
Thanks so
Thank you
much for
so
joining
much.
us. I'm glad we could continue that conversation from the live stream. I think it was an important conversation.
A lot different. I was hoping that the last conversation would have been something, something like this, where everybody talked and listened, but it went totally the wrong way. But it was interesting to say the least, and fun. I had a lot of fun because I was kind of in the backseat, just having fun with the chat and watching the boxing match, as I called it. But
Yeah.
and I think it was fun.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you
have a
for
good night.
inviting me so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Regina, isn't this a freshwater planted tank channel?
Only plants. That is the correct way to keep fish in 2025. Planted tanks, planted community tanks. Yeah, it was totally Mexicali's fault. Absolutely, just All right. So we're gonna give it to that first guess.
No,
The person who said
because
Mandarin fish.
I don't think fish is specific enough.
I didn't think so either. I just wanted to make sure.
So we have Fathom.
All right.
Zen. Moose. Cheryl. And Nancy B.
Moose has taken the lead.
Did you get Cheryl and Nancy B?
Yes. Moose has 4 points. Wait, someone else have 4 points? Nope, just Moose. Zen has 3. Pretty close.
Yeah.
Alrighty. This never happens. Well, it's only the first stream of the year. Fish Frenzy fixed it. Gotta switch from top to live or live to top and refresh and see if you came through in time. That's the difference. Welcome in. Clicks came in. We probably missed a bunch of people who came in because I'm looking at the poll. 122 votes. Now 16% of y'all's fish are not doing okay. Y'all want to talk about it?
No, they don't.
No, just don't need any help. Just have bad fish. Still a pretty high majority, which is the point I was trying to make. It's like we all do things that are a little different or vastly different or just off the wall, holy fuck different. And fish are fine. Stupid.
Not right now, Stephen. It is. I don't think this is a saltwater fish.
I forgot what it is. It's not the Q&A part, but will adding baking soda raise the nitrite of the water? No. I added some to my water barrel for water changes and just tested and found nitrite and nitrates in it. Tap is 0. Nope. It's just sodium bicarbonate.
I only see one correct answer.
Really? Okay. Well, who is it?
SC Catahoula's.
Alrighty.
It's the Japanese marbled perch,
Oh, it's a perch. Yeah, it's not saltwater.
but it's also known as the late. And Zen did get it in before it showed up on.
Okay. All right. To tie with moose. We'll allow it. Swamp minnow. And last but not least, welcome in Ross Baltimore.
A great
Bird.
cloud.
Bird related fish theme.
My inlers randomly got ick. Haven't introduced anything into my fish room in many months.
Well, it's winter time. Have you made any changes? Have you cleaned the filter? Has your heater bit the dust? Did you do a cold water change? Did you do something weird that might have stressed out the fish? Would be my question.
Oh, okay, we have it, and he did
Okay.
fix it before. So we have
All right.
Boots Cats,
Okay.
Fish Frenzy Addiction,
Okay.
Benjamin Peters,
Yep.
Aquatic Moose,
Uh-oh. 5 points.
and then Branton Light Cap, the Portuguese manpower, but he fixed it.
That's fine.
he fixed it.
Wonder why it tested positive. We may never know because I'm draining it now. Yeah. And that is strange. I'm trying to think of why it might test positive. Of course, I don't know. Did you test that vat of water right before you added the baking soda, or maybe it already had nitrites? I don't know. I don't know, or something I'm not thinking of as well. Alrighty.
Zen said, I tried it, said priest man after. I couldn't delete fast enough.
That's not even close. You got to practice typing all the fish in your phone.
Poor Zen, every time she wants to say LOL, her phone changes it to look.
She's always telling people to look. Well, fin rot and half moon bettas. I've not dealt with fin rot. My bettas always die of dropsy.
Mhm.
So I can't even off the top of my head think of the fin rot treatment, but I think there's a relatively normal go-to treatment, if not water changes, and salt too. Yeah, Rachel said salt.
So, we only have 13 minutes.
Until what? Until Elfish gets mad at us? Oh no. What are we going to do?
Yeah, you don't want him to be mad at you. What do you want the hashtag to be for this beta plush?
We got new plushies, y'all. Ordered a big old box of them from greenpleco.com. So we've got, I don't know what, 20, I think it's 29 plushies.
Yeah.
Oh, and Co-op's got an article on it for fin rot. So,
Hashtag fin rot.
well, yes, I like it. This beta will not get fin rot.
No, it can't.
All right. Hashtag Finrod it is.
The timing is kind of perfect. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it is a beta. Oh, look, the
Hashtag
wheel
Finrod.
is pink currently. It's all pink.
Look how pink.
currently.
Johnny's so pink. Johnny is still the pinkest.
Yeah. And the beta is kind of pink. It has pink on
Yep.
it.
Has Johnny ever won on the wheel? I think he might have.
Yeah, he won socks
That's right. He won socks.
that we got from Epcot. And I think he's won at least twice. He won an art print that he donated to Scotty. Yeah, he
3
said,
wins.
I think I have 3 wins.
Damn, that's a lot.
How many times have you won on the
Boy.
wheel?
On other people's wheel, seldom. The wheel is not a fan
Check
of me.
the spreadsheet. I have not updated that spreadsheet. I have other things to do. Oh, he got the kitten net holder thing too.
Oh, okay. 50 entries so far.
Branton is not pink. That is not good for him.
I mean, nothing's good for him.
But if you get kicked off first, your consolation prize is 1 point.
That's right. Someone's going to get a point. What color is he?
Gray, very gray is what Candy.
Well, not having pigment.
How many
that's a good thing.
bingos have you won?
Well, I have no idea.
How many eliminator quizzes have you won?
Just the one today. I can't believe it because the last 2 questions were pure guesses, pure luck. Trying to remember what they were. I think one was the lowest recorded temperature on Earth.
Yeah, it was negative 89 degrees Celsius, right?
Or is negative 89
or
something?
Centigrade?
Don't know.
I don't know. He beats Lily and Bingo often. Why are you like so competitive against a baby?
Because it's so easy. It's a baby.
Taking bingos from a baby.
I'll take Pepsi from a baby. 55.
I don't know what the second
Nathan
to
doing
last
the nitrite water change, and he wants to know what we're playing for. It's a little beta plush. I'm going to show
this
it again.
one.
Go.
This beta plush.
The second to last question was what was the first foreign automobile manufacturer to come to the U.S.? Yeah.
You can easily take candy from them as well. Their little hands are so weak.
So weak. By and large, babies not so good at self-defense. All right, still seeing 55, so I think we'll start spinning soon.
Okay. Babies don't need candy. Protect them from their cavities by taking it.
Yeah. And refreshing one more time.
Not Lily. She's got the grip strength of a bodybuilder. That baby has security. They're really easy to push down. Take it while they're down. Babies have the sharpest fingernails too. You ever had like a newborn baby like scratch you or scratch themselves.
Yeah, Lilio just like grabbed everything.
Yeah.
Oh, 2.5 hours to Morgantown from Jose.
Yeah, it is once a year.
Yep. Now I will say the hotel, given that there's going to be a Fishfam wedding taking place there, and we have some great speakers lined up, Corey and Zenzo being two of them, Tom Barr
Shelby.
being another, and Shelby. I think the hotel is going to sell really fast.
Mhm. But the good thing about the hotel is if you book it now, you don't pay anything until you get there. And I think you can cancel up to like a week before. So my suggestion is get your hotel and just cancel it at the last minute, or if you find out you can't go. But you'd rather have your spot at the hotel than not. What's the link for the hotel?
Just go to
Yeah.
keystoneclash.com and it's like at the top something. I don't know. It's pretty easy to find. Like because there's a referral type link, right, for the group rate.
Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't. Foxy says she says Steve. No, she says whatever. As far as I can tell, try to
That's
get
your
her to
name?
say Steven, and she's like whatever.
Won't you have cancellation fees? You do not if you cancel within 7 days, I think. It tells you when you go online. And I think
Yep.
most hotels, you can cancel it even like up until the day of, but they'll take a one-night deposit from your, if you end up like no showing or canceling too close.
All right, 58 entries still, and let's go.
Oh, you'll get a kick out of the speaker, Jason Den Hayes. He's a funny guy. And then Rick Borstein is the other guy, who is Shakespeare's
Okay.
wife. Is Anne Hathaway.
Yeah. Cool. I don't know those two, so like I have my priorities of talks I want to attend, and then the other ones are like if I can. I like the fact that there are fewer talks happening, so a better chance that I can get to them.
Mhm.
As long as they're not like 8 a.m. or at dinner time, like freaking talks at dinner time. All right. And let's spin. Hopefully the sound comes through.
Oh, wait, let me take this down so that people can see. Get ready to sing.
Bootscats.
Working?
Yes.
All right, let me
give right her pity point.
Pity point for Boots. And here we go. 3 points total.
Regina Phalanges.
Said I don't want a point. I want a beta.
Trash Gremlin.
Well, Rachel, if it makes you feel any better, if you earn a lot of points and you save up those points, you still can't get a beta with those points.
But we have other betas.
Maybe.
They're different colors.
Running water. Monster Fish Gal. Scotty the Fish Freak.
Scotty.
Geek BOI.
Brandon's looking for the referral link.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
I'm only assuming there's a referral link. Maybe there's just a code. I don't know.
If you go to where it says plan your visit on Keystone Clash, and it says book your room, it automatically applies the code.
Cool. Big cat.
The Nano Aquarium guy.
That one always gets me.
It
Jay.
startles you.
Yeah.
Craig's Catfish Cave.
Craig.
Fishwit.
Fishwit.
Oinky.
Elaine.
So
Elaine.
if you are 100% sure that you are going to the Clash, you should get your ticket in January. There are no refunds. So if you get your ticket and then you can't go, it will just be a donation to the clubs, because the Keystone Clash is a fundraiser for clubs. It doesn't go in anyone's pocket. If you're not sure, I would say get the hotel. You can get the tickets up until the event, but realistically by August, so that you could get your shirt size before those are ordered if you're purchasing a weekend pass. Yeah, Scotty says, or you can give it away or sell it.
Yeah.
Claw Images.
Why does it
Oh,
do
wait,
that
it said claw.
every single time? It struggles with the LIX. I don't know. Weird.
Faux Sushi.
Can say faux sushi.
It sounded like it said Susie.
So sushi's.
Anyway, yes, Moose, if you win, Boots can have the betta.
So she's just trying to get out of here, huh? Okay. See how it is.
Nathan Hovey.
265 days and 8.5 hours until the Clash. Nathan.
How does she know the time?
Nick Schultz.
I don't think the schedule has even been formalized, finalized.
Just when she's planning to be there. Nick Schultz.
Skipper's Aquariums.
Skipper. Are the dogs just breaking stuff back there?
No, JoJo is just shaking around.
Being clunky.
Benjamin Peters.
Benjamin.
Fathom Aquatics.
Jeff, does Scotty ship the shirts if one can't attend but prepays? So if you buy a registration and you can't go, what you can do if you would like your bag is you can email admin@keystoneclash.com right before the event and say, like, hey, can Foxy pick up my bag for me? And then they can ship it to you. Scotty won't ship it to you. But you have to have in writing who is picking it up so that they don't just give away your bag to anyone. Because like anyone could show up and say, I'm here to get this person's bag.
What a dick.
Who? Fathom?
No.
For being
Scotty,
on the wheel?
for not shipping.
Oh.
No, Fathom is off the wheel right now.
Renee D. Queer.
Renee.
Johnny Dan's Fish.
Johnny Dan's Fish. No fourth win for you. Yeah, there you go. Just put Scotty when it says he's picking it
Nancy
up.
B. in Tennessee.
And there goes Nancy.
June's color is transparent.
Bluefish.
Is it because it was very green?
Yes. It is.
Okay.
It's like a lime green.
Anna Banana.
And a banana.
Barbara Jackson.
Barbara.
Alishan Ez.
Alishan.
Shark Fin Adventures.
Shark Fin.
Aquarium Fantasy.
Henry.
Oink Master Supreme Forever.
Oinky.
Jonathan G.
Jonathan G. Speaking of which, where's Eric? Haven't even seen him in chat.
No. I'm not.
Beta
I don't know that
Aquatics.
I
I've seen him today.
think I saw him once in some stream. I don't know. I guess he thought he did one stream this week and that was all he had to do. Beta Aquatics.
Big Steve's Glass Boxes.
Big Steve. Oh, Eric is pregnant. Well, that explains it.
Ross Baltimore.
Ross Baltimore.
Daniel Velez.
Daniel Velez.
He does cry a lot.
Crowntail Half Moon.
Crown
The
Tail.
car horn is the best song. That was the last thing that Myrtle recorded, I think. It was. He said this car alarm has been going off in his parking lot nonstop, and he recorded it.
Yep.
Viking Warrior.
Matt's offering to call them on the phone. Damn.
Because
Hey,
Matt
no
loves
one's-
to talk on the phone.
Nobody said the secret word, did they?
Nope. Maybe next week.
Viking Warrior.
The Zen Ginger.
And there she goes.
I think Dee Dee sent the music yesterday, and I forwarded it over to Matt in case he didn't see it on the Fishfam link.
Okay.
Fish Frenzy Addiction.
Fish Frenzy.
Brandon Lightcap.
Well, the wheel taunted you for a good while. Better get used to this.
Only Oscars.
Only
Yeah, I know, Matt.
Oscars.
That's why I forwarded it over to you.
Nitol Aquatics.
Nitol.
David's Aquatics.
But whenever
David,
I respond to
thanks.
Fishfam link email, should I just sign it as Matt?
Yep. And say whatever you want and agree and commit to whatever you want.
Melissa.
Melissa.
Matt, I did see.
Koro Works.
Koro Works.
Aquarium Domain.
Aquarium Domain.
Darlene's Tanks.
Darlene.
I was telling Steven before the stream, I said one day there needs to be an all pink wheel.
I'm not in charge of that.
No. But just at random. Oh wait.
Aquarium.
Wait. And he said, "Are you gonna find the secret word?"
Damn. Are you a psychic? Well, all right. So shit. Okay. Well, all right. So I got some mail today from Kyle. I still have some of the random series, like the random packs, but I have some new random packs, and they contain some creator series, and the one that we're going to be giving away tonight guaranteed has, I don't even know how. Green screen. It's got our creator series. It says "What the Fish," and it's us, and there's fish, and there's a lot of green probably.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be random cards, including that one.
So give Koro his 5 points. Sorry, Moose.
Oh shit! Forgot about that. Yep. And Koro already scored a point, so he's got 6 points total for tonight. All right, yeah, get those hashtag tapes in there. Well, I would never win if that is a language I need to use in chat, but at home I win.
Peplin Creek Aquatics.
Peplin.
Liquid Zoo, only fins.
Matt.
Foxy's Fishes.
Foxy.
Mark Sturlson.
Mark.
Candy Overhulls.
Candy.
SC Catahulas.
Cat House.
Dennis Christensen.
Dennis Christensen.
Brandon, I don't know. Well, yeah, I do know. He is part of Fishcord. Under fishy events in Fishcord, Geek made a thread where if you would be willing to share a room with someone to cut the cost of the room in half. So if you're interested in that option, you could go and add yourself to that thread.
Shady Grady.
And so far, Scotty hasn't found his roommate. So send Scotty an email if you would like to room with him.
He's looking for at least 3 roommates, right?
Yeah, that's how many people can fit in a room is 4.
Yeah, 2 to a bed. So, Final 4, Lumi, Aquatic, Moose, Tracy Ballard, Cichlids 23.
Cichlids 23.
And there goes Cichlids 23.
Lumi.
Lumi.
Aquatic Moose.
Sorry, Moose. Congrats, Tracy Ballard. I don't think I've got your address. So if you could email me, StephenP2003 at fishfam.link. If somebody put that in chat for you, we'll get this out to you. Send it out probably tomorrow and sometime next week, something like that. And before we go, let's run this last giveaway for the Fish Room Punks mystery pack with guaranteed What the Fish.
Who do you want to run it?
I don't know.
Zen usually runs it for us.
Well, then do it, Zen.
Zen, are you not too devastated? Thank you.
Here we go. Who is it? People trying to get their entry in too late.
I don't know if it picks it up after.
Benjamin Peters. Congrats, Benjamin.
We have Benjamin's address.
Do we? I think,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah, unless he's moved.
Okay.
So Tracy
Well-
Ballard, I saw that she was in here. This is the email.
Yep. So
She
email
said
your
we
mailing
we all
address.
have. She
Hmm?
said we all have her info.
Do we? Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, I believe her. If she sent it to me, then I've got it somewhere.
Okay.
I just it's hard to keep track. I have so much info on Fishfam, like just a growing document of personal information. You know.
Okay. And then Matt said that he's going to change the word from tape to secret, just so that it doesn't matter what we're giving away.
Sweet. Yeah, because eventually we'll also run out of tape. So.
Yes. So
All
let me
right.
go ahead and write down Benjamin Peters so that I
hashtag over to L-fish. Let's just go with the classic L-farty fish, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Hashtag L-farty fish. Let's go say hi to David and probably Jeff and all. And yeah, see y'all next week. Thanks for stopping by. Good night.